Hello everyone, my name is not going to be disclosed because I'm trying to remain as private as possible, even though it is pretty much impossible in today's world. But this is just a demo video for myself to see if this is something that I want to actually do. But I think that I have a lot of information that a lot of people want to know. Um, I myself was in search of this information and wasn't quite sure where to go. I'm going to first talk about me a little bit. I am in the process of getting my CC intern license in the state of Florida. And what that means is because I don't have 1 year of experience, investigative experience, and a degree that is related to the field of investigations like criminal justice, paralegal, forensic science, something like that, I guess, would probably suffice for their 1 year of education. I have to apply for my CC license. And so that means that I will be an intern, and an actual C license who does have those things will basically log my hours and report it to the state in order for me to um, be able to get my own C license and eventually onto an A license, which is to have my own private investigations agency, which I will talk about and is also in the process. So it has been quite the process, and that is why I'm wanting to kind of log and document these things to help people who are trying to do that for themselves. And I want to put out relevant current information, which private investigators should be looking for. And from what I can see that's on YouTube right now, it's at least 5 years old. At least what's directly related to the state of Florida and the C, CC, and A licenses. So I hope that this can be helpful to those people. So about me, I was in retail for 122 years, and eventually I got married and had a child, and was fortunate enough to be able to stay home and raise my child for a few years. And of course I got antsy and wanted to get into something, and wanted to do something for myself, of course, and explore and basically pick up where I left off as far as my dreams and goals are. I decided when I was going to go back to work that it was going to be something that I felt to be meaningful. I mean, retail is a place for some people, and actually, crazy enough, I do miss it sometimes, especially during the Christmas season, because it is crazy, crazy, crazy. And there is actually good money to be made if you're in the right industry, on commission and whatnot. But anyways, I digress on that. So when I was 19, 160 years ago, I started going to school, University of Alaska, and shortly after I dropped out. I was pursuing forensic science. That was my dream forever and ever and ever. And I dropped out because I wasn't focused. There was too much going on in my life at the time, and yada yada yada, excuse, excuse, excuse. And then jump like 75 years, and then here I am today getting back into my dreams. So I got my CC license because I didn't have the education that I needed, and I didn't have that actual experience that I needed. So with my CC license, I was able to get a sponsor, and thank God I did, because I never would have gotten the little bit of exposure that I got had it not been for that special sponsor. And I wouldn't mention her name, but that would be a little weird. But just so you know, if you ever see this, I am grateful. Word to the wise about a CC trying to get a sponsor. It is hard as hell, and nobody wants to sponsor you if you don't have experience. So you will find that it seems like 90, 95, 98%, 99% of private investigators are prior law enforcement, thank you very much, or prior military, or both, and thank you very much, doubly, for your service. But if you aren't either of those things, then sponsors tend to look at you like, so what do you bring to the table? Like, what are you doing here? It's funny. It's funny that they're actually so close-minded. Sometimes I think being a private investigator, especially an agency owner, that you should have an open mind, especially when you are looking at who to hire as a sponsor. You might want to consider hiring younger, focused, educated in the field, very, how do I say this? Focus is key, obviously, but especially female private investigators, interns. There's a lot that we bring to the table. Obviously, we can get into more places. Nobody suspects us. I mean, nobody suspects us. I think that we can pretty much go in anywhere, like a strip club, mom's group, church, I mean, kids places, like kids stores. You know, being able to do that surveillance out in the field could be a lot easier for a female in some certain circumstances versus a man. Anyway, I'm going to digress on that for now and do a whole nother video on that. But getting back to me, so I picked up my sponsor by joining a private investigator association. Do that. And you're going to do that for a ton of reasons. But if you are inexperienced, you don't know your ass from the hole in the ground, but you think this is what you want to do, get your ass into an association or 2 or 3 with your state, with the country, somewhere within the private investigation field. My sponsor picked me up on the association's website. In fact, she also picked up my sister, who was a new investigator also. So, and she didn't even know we were related. We have different last names. We had just got our licenses, I think, at the same time, and she saw that we were in the same area, so she called us both up and ended up sponsoring both of us, and she is amazing, and I am forever, ever grateful for her. So she really took the time to teach us the verbiage and the skills, and you know, really get you in there and let us do surveillance right off the rip. And that's something else I would say too. As a CC intern, when you get a sponsor, you can be desperate for a sponsor, because I have been there. I've gone to those association meetings. I've had people say, hey, call me. I've got paperwork you can do just being around the environment, and you can be there and, you know, just kind of see what it's like and get your feet wet. Okay, cool. If that's the only option you have and you want to take that, go for it. I would suggest looking around in the meantime. I would not push paper for long, because honestly, unless you intend on having your own agency, which I would look into right away, then you don't really need to know about all of that. So anyway, I continue to look around if possible. Go to the meetings. Go to the association meetings. Talk to people. If you're shy, it might not be conducive for you to go to the meetings. I mean, you will absorb some knowledge, but take advantage of those meetings and boot camps and workshops and all of that, and take it all in. If you don't like to do those things and stay abreast of the new things that are out there, if you find contracts and stuff to be boring, if you think the laws are boring, if you think that surveillance is the only thing that's out there, then this might not be for you. But stick around this channel and I'll show you a lot more about all that stuff. So about me, okay, I was sponsored for probably about 6 months, and during that 6 months I did a lot of surveillance. I did some pretty cool things. I've taken long extended trips doing surveillance, and I love it. Like, I really do like doing surveillance. However, the case types that I was working did not make me feel good. The case types I was working were mostly, if not all, child custody cases. And although this is a niche for some people, which is totally fine, and I respect that, because everybody's got to earn a living. People need investigators to do these kind of things, and a lot of times it is kind of for wellness checks and to see how the other parent is with the child. Are they there when they say they are there? Are they leaving them alone? Are people around them that aren't supposed to be around them? These are things that matter. Then there are child custody agreements in place for reasons, so you need to make sure that they are abided by, and that's what private investigators are for. Anyway, so kind of a long story short on that, it didn't make me feel good. I don't like the idea, whether it's warranted or not, of taking time away from one parent. That was the goal. Generally, when you're hired by the parent, you are trying to gain more custody or take custody away from the other parent. So I don't know. It's just not my bag. No. And really my whole thing was, over the years, is I more like forensics, criminology, finding the bad guy. I've gained an interest over the years of finding missing people. I also have a strong interest in solving cold cases. I'll talk about that another time. So I really wanted to pursue that. And obviously, as a employee, or I'm an intern, I don't really get to pick my cases. I'm just thankful to be gaining the experience, someone who's willing to teach me, and have a job. By the way, interns get paid, and you don't get paid shit. You get paid what you're worth. So make sure that you're not getting paid like $10 an hour to do surveillance, because that's bullshit. You should be getting paid more than that. I'm just going to leave it at that. More than that. So getting back to my dreams, I want to pursue cold cases, missing persons, right? So I decided I was also in the position, at home, basically, technically still a stay-at-home mom, which what a bullshit saying that is, but, and then working my PI gig whenever I could fit it in, and mostly in the afternoons, when husband was home to watch my child. So I decided I was going to put in my notice and say thank you so much for everything you have done for me. I hope we can work together at some point again in the future in some capacity. However, I am going to have to end my time with you because I'm going back to school. And so that was like 3 years ago. And I am now, okay, so it's October 10th, 2019 today. I am in my last semester, thank you, dear God, of my criminal justice and technology degree. I have already received my certification for crime scene investigation and fingerprint analysis. So that's exciting. So I have an actual specialty. I'm certified, educated in the area now. You know, I'm not going to pursue a career with the police department or with any other governmental agency. I knew going into my degree that I was going to come out having my own agency and focusing on the cases that I wanted to pursue because those are meaningful to me. There is a niche for that. There are people that need me. So that is where we're at today. I'm graduating soon, and I'm in the process of getting my license back, my CC license. I let it lapse. I did not realize how much of a pain in the ass it would be to get it back. Word to the wise. Do not ever, 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 ever let your license expire unless you know you'll never do PI work again. So what did I say? Don't ever, 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 ever let your license expire. This time, because I need a sponsor, my husband is going to be my sponsor, and as he has the investigative experience in his career, and he also has the education, so he straight gets to get his C license, lucky guy, and he's going to sponsor me. So note, I am prematurely applying for my license. So at this point, all they have are the previous hours that I've worked as a CC intern in the past. Whatever that is. 6 months of surveillance, whatever she reported. I actually didn't even get a copy of that, which is my bad. If you're a CC, always have a copy of your hours. They're to submit it like semi-annually or something like that. So keep track of your own stuff. But anyways, once I get my degree, I will update that with the Department of Licensing. So that knocks off a whole year of having to gain that experience as a CC. You know what I'm saying? So all I have to do is work on my other actual investigative experience. So, yeah, I want to talk to you about actually applying for your license. And I am going to do that in another video. I'm going to explain what it takes to get your C license in the state of Florida, your CC license in the state of Florida, and your A license in the state of Florida. So watch those next videos. Thank you for hanging in there. I know it's been a while getting through this, but this is just my first video. There's a possibility that no one will ever see this. There's a possibility that you might see little parts of it. There's a possibility that I will just post the whole thing and make you suffer through the end just to see me break out like this. TMI, I always have a heater going on down there, and I just like it hot. I live in Florida, and it could be 73 degrees in my house, and there's always a heater going on below my desk. But anyways, okay, nobody cares about that. So anyway, in the future, I'm going to talk about gadgets. I'm going to talk about verbiage in your reports. I'm going to talk about what you carry around in your kit, what it's like to be a woman in the field. You're crazy for not having a PI, a female PI in your back pocket. Subcontracting all that fun stuff. So if you want to know what it takes from the ground up to be a PI, stick around and subscribe below. Thank you so much for being here.